operating as mere human. I'm just a mere human. Oh, I'm just poor little old me. And look at all this stuff these big people doing to me. No, no, no. When you take your rightful place as God, they can do nothing to you. Nothing. But you keep listening. I'm going to show you how to use it. I'm going to show you why your fears are running rampant and why your fears are what's driving you and why your fears are winning. The only enemy you have is what's going on in your mind. The moment you learn to master your mind, which is where all the fears and doubts and anxiety are drummed up, then you will know peace. We want to point outside of ourselves for every single thing that's going on in our lives. And I'm telling you, what's going on in your life is a direct reflector of what is going on in your mind. You should see part 1. This is part 2. Let's go ahead and do a recap and jump right in. So let's do a recap that might sound familiar if you came out of the church. I told y'all it's a very thin line the way they did this, but the difference in expecting from an outside God and taking the Bible literal and expecting from the God that you are because you have controlled your whole mind makes all the difference. The absolute, the creator, is omnipresent. That means there is nowhere that the creator is not. There is nowhere God is not. Anything that you could have any kind of concern about, then the creator is there. And if the creator is there and you came out of the creator, guess who else is there? Oh yes, honey. You are God. You are omnipresent. The very same stuff that the creator is made of, you are. So since you're omnipresent, you are also omniscient. That means you are all-knowing. But if you are not practicing your all-knowing, if you don't even know omnipresent is an option for you, then how are you going to exercise it? Well, you're not. And that is the point. If you still expect it from outside of you, you never will tap into the power that you are, the power that you are, not that is inside of you. Because the power that you are is mind, and mind is not physical. You ready to get into this? I am. Let's do it. All right, let's get to some practicality about the fears. There are 3 areas that most people find themselves concerned with: money, health, and relationships. Just about anything going on in your life can fall under one of those categories. So if your life is turned upside down in any of those areas, more than likely you're running in fear about it. You have allowed your mind to work against you. Now, this is the first time I'm laying this foundation. That means every time we talk about this, I'm going to hit it in a different way. So if you don't get it all right now, just keep coming back. All right? Your mind, think of your mind as being in 3 categories: conscious, subconscious, and superconscious. Or maybe I needed to go that way. Conscious, subconscious, superconscious. Or let's go left, right. Conscious, subconscious, superconscious. Your conscious mind is the gatekeeper for all information. So every single thing that goes on in your mind, if you are sloppy about what you allow to sink into your subconscious, then you put yourself in jeopardy to start to experience the things that you allow in your subconscious mind. Being a good gatekeeper means that if something shows up in your mind, say you were just released from your job. No, let's go before that. Say you started hearing about all these layoffs and how bad things were getting in the United States and how corporations are letting people go and all this, all right? You start hearing it, you're watching the news, you are giving all your attention and focus to the fears of what would happen in your life and with your people and with your family and with your stuff if that were to become a reality in your life. Every single time you give any attention to any of that, then as the gatekeeper, you've left your post. You may as well not even be there. Because as the gatekeeper, you are to only accept that which you desire. You are to only agree with that which you desire. What you need to understand, the only things you get in your life is what you agree with. Ooh, y'all, the past couple years, I get this like I've never understood it before. I am telling you, the only thing that you get in your life is that which you agree with. You have to agree with it. But if that thought shows up and you don't want it, and you look at that thing and however you start to condition your mind, recondition yourself, because you've been conditioned for all the fears. They want you. They got you exactly where they want you. If you are running scared, you'll do whatever you got to do to feed into these machines they've created in order to keep their pockets full, keep you sick, keep you miserable in relationships, and to keep you broke. But you, as God, have the authority to create the life you want. In the same way, they are using you to create the life they have. If you think the Roman Catholic Church did not understand this when they created the stuff they created, think again. If you think that all of these people who are in the 1%, the supposed elite, I wish y'all would call them elite. You'd better not. I just did a video on that. Don't you call them people elite. You are elite when you operate in your God consciousness. When you operating as mere human, I'm just a mere human. Oh, I'm just poor little old me. And look at all this stuff these big people doing to me. No. When you take your rightful place as God, they can do nothing to you. Nothing. Especially when you start understanding that all the laws they've created are all lies. Listen, some of us rising up out of this stuff. Are you going to be one who rise? Or are you going to be one who sits back in victimhood? Look what they keep doing to me. When you are God, you've got your conscious mind. What you let into your subconscious mind is usually what you remunerate over. That's the stuff that keeps you up at night. That's the stuff that you daydream about. That's the stuff. And when you do that, then you're giving energy to that. You're creating these grooves within your consciousness that keeps you in these patterns. And when you do that, here's how it works in your imagination. The more, whatever you allow in your subconscious mind, your superconscious mind, which is the God that you are, when you get in those relaxed states, that's when you imprint onto your superconscious, and your superconscious as God has to bring to pass exactly what you imprint. You are imprinting every time you get into what is considered an alpha state, a sleepy state, a daydreaming state. And what many of you do is go to sleep in worry, in fear, and then you wake up the same way. You know why? Because you just pick up where you left off. When you go to sleep, you've heard that the moment you go to sleep, then you go somewhere else. Mentally, the real you checks out. Your body is what is being renewed. But your mind goes to work on whatever it is you've been giving it. I'm telling you, that's what you're about to stop doing. All right? If it's the first time you're hearing this, I sound like some crazy woman. But if your life is not working as you want it to, then keep listening. And then there are some of you that this is resonating like nobody's business, because you know that your life is supposed to be different. You know you've been putting in all kinds of effort with this hit or miss type stuff. You know that you did not come here to hustle like crazy. How is it that there are some people who work just a very little and they have a whole lot? They have tapped into a particular, I hate using these buzzwords, but it's the ones that y'all have heard. These particular vibrations that are keeping them where they want to be. And the more they experience has an emotional charge, then the harder it is for you, or the easier. I mean, if it's a high emotional charge, then it works for you all the more. But if it's a really low emotional charge, that's the one that you tend to stay in. You stay on Dr. Rerun on that thing. I'm telling you, your mind is working against you in those times. That's when fears have every right to do whatever they want to do in your life. When you are doubting your own position as the authority of your life, when you don't operate in that at all, then by default, your life is what it is. But it is a mirror. I'm telling you, your life is a direct replica of what you have allowed in your subconscious mind. And I know that is so hard to hear. That is hard to hear, but I'm telling you, it doesn't take that long. Once you start to understand this and turn the darn corner, and I can only do so much here on this YouTube channel. But y'all, I'm working some things out. I am offering some stuff soon, all right? Meanwhile, keep coming back. Keep learning, and every single thing you learn, implement. Start paying attention to your conscious thoughts. Set a timer on your phone for every hour. That when it goes off, what are you thinking? Catch your thoughts. Start really paying attention to what you are allowing. And when you find yourself, if you're a daydreamer, oh child, when you find yourself daydreaming, whatever you're daydreaming about, you have to ask yourself, do I really want this to happen? If it ain't what you want to happen, then in that moment, you have to stop that shit. You have to check that shit. You have to look at that and go, I am not in agreement with that. And yes, it's that simple. I am not in agreement with that. I do not agree with that. I'm telling you, you're going to get so pissed at yourself when you recognize just how insidious fears and doubts are. You don't have any enemies, baby. Your only enemy is your mind. Now, I've talked about taking off the love. I'm going to get into, what about the devil though? What about the devil? You have to take off the love for anything that looks like a devil to exist in your life. That's all I got for you today. It's your life. Choose it just as it is. Own it, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Change it. As long as you can breathe and learn. Oh, baby, it can get better. From somewhere out here in these South American streets, ciao for now. Hey, listen, if you enjoy this content, subscribe, like, share it, and by all means, get in the comment section. Let's keep the conversation going.